Hello, and today we're going to be talking about punishment. In my last video, I spoke about a man who punished his son for playing video games by making him play games for 17 hours non-stop. The link is in the caption below. Now that is a punishment. What do we mean by punishment? Punishment is a penalty used to pay for a crime committed. Do children commit crimes? Children can scream, shout, disobey or behave inappropriately, but commit a crime? No. Reprimand and consequences are also in some ways synonyms of punishment. And can you see the top-down approach? The person with authority can punish the weaker person. I understand that the problems for a parent are very real. When children do things they should not be doing repeatedly, it does get to be very irritating and also very frustrating. But the term we should look at instead of punishment is corrective measure. These measures are used to modify behavior, create a sense of responsibility, or inculcate values. And the main difference between a corrective measure and punishment is that a corrective measure is teaching children a new behavior, while punishment is also teaching children a new behavior but using fear. A corrective measure looks at creating a desirable future behavior, and punishment is inflicting suffering on someone for their past behavior. I was in the 4th standard and I'd worn my sports shoes instead of my regular shoes. Now the prefect caught me and she told me I will wear the correct pair of shoes every day, 500 times. This sentence spread over 2 pages. And each page I think has about 25 lines. So let's do the math. 500 times into 25 lines is 20 pages. Running over to 2 pages is 50 pages overall. Did the punishment fit the crime? A 4th standard child writing 50 pages of I will wear the correct shoes every day. Of course I couldn't finish it. And I had to say sorry near everybody. A good dose of humiliation. I wore the correct shoes out of fear of punishment, and I started fearing prefects. But was that the objective of wearing the correct shoes? A Russian psychologist, Ivan Pavlov, noticed that dogs salivated when they saw food. So he conducted an experiment called the classic conditioning experiment. Whenever he gave food to his dogs, he rang a bell. After repeating this procedure a number of times, he rang the bell on its own. Now the dogs, on hearing the bell even ringing on its own, started salivating. This experiment showed that the dog had learned to associate the bell with the food and a new behavior was formed. Based on this result, we can say that if we punish a child, the child will associate himself with good behavior and will behave even without being punished. But does this theory apply to human children? No, because the human emotional brain reacts first and then the thinking brain reacts. So we stop using logic, we start feeling. We start feeling sad, we feel angry, we feel blame, hate, we feel people don't understand us. First, let's understand why children misbehave before we look at corrective measures. They're too young to know their actions are unacceptable. They're frustrated, angry or upset, and they have no other reasonable way to express their feelings. They're stressed by major changes. It could be a family breakup, a new sibling starting school. They're not getting your attention, and when they do, they behave appropriately. They feel you have been unfair. They want to punish you. They need a greater degree of independence and they feel constricted. So this is why children misbehave. Let's look at some corrective measures that we can take instead. Really ignore it if it's not worth it. If it's a one-time thing or a silly mistake, like a child forgot to take his book to school, please don't punish your child. You can of course be firm about packing the school bag in advance. Communicate with your child. Speak about what is troubling him or her. Your child needs to know what he's done wrong and the impact of his actions. If your child is getting aggressive, throwing a tantrum, ask why you're doing what you're doing. Where do you need my help? Remember, you and your child are both on the same team. Talk about consequences. So if your child is looking at the screen for a long time, talk about the possibility of getting spectacles. Relate to yourself, the mistakes you made and how you wish you had done some things differently. Tell these to your children. Get your child to sit in a reflection chair and collect your thoughts. If you and your child are angry, I suggest you also sit in the reflection chair. Think about why your child is angry or forgetful or hitting others. This will give both you and your child time to get calm and look at next steps. Be consistent. Consistency is reinforcing rules and consequences all the time. Today you're in a good mood, you got a promotion, or you're too busy and your child is watching TV, you allow your child to watch TV. Next day you decide to reinforce the rule of not watching TV. Your child is going to be confused. Be consistent. Children benefit from knowing what to expect and understanding the consequences of their actions. And operate from a space of love and understanding. That doesn't mean that you overlook mistakes, but talking to your child and being firm and assertive is what is important. Let your child know, in spite of everything, you have the best interests of your child at heart. And I want to leave you with a question. What corrective measure would you suggest that my school prefect had to adopt if she found someone else wearing the wrong pair of shoes? My friend Tasneem Dohadwalla is an immensely talented poet, and there's a lovely poem she's written on punishment. Do read it in the caption below. And for any questions, reach out to me at askamrita@taabur.com.